Greetings children, welcome to the online classes. Please like and subscribe the channel so you will get all the updated videos. The following video is for class 6th, subject General Science, chapter 3, sorting materials into groups, part 1. So in this lesson you're going to learn about your surroundings. That means the objects in your surroundings. What are the different objects around you and how they can be grouped or what are they made of is what you're going to learn in this lesson. Let's begin the chapter. If you have the textbooks with you, please follow. This is for the lesson 4, page number 26. Now beginning with objects around you. We have seen that our food and clothes have so much variety in them. You learnt in the previous lesson that our materials are the food, the clothes that we wear, the food that we eat has lots of varieties. Our food is made of different components and clothes are made of different materials. Not just food and clothes. There is such a vast variety of objects everywhere, right? There is if from the place where you're sitting now, if you look around, you will see many different kinds of objects. Like you will see some chairs, you'll see tables. You'll either be watching this video on a laptop or on a TV or in your phones, so that becomes one of the objects. And so many other objects like this. You can see a glass of water, you can see different cooking vessels. When your mother is sitting with you, you can see different kind of clothing that you are wearing and your mother is wearing, or your father or anybody in that room. There some of you might be sitting on a table and a chair like this. There are different kinds of objects around us. Some objects are made up of same material. Some objects are made of same material, like different clothings are made of different materials, but they're all clothes. Or some objects that look alike. Now there might be some objects like bedspreads and bed sheets. They look alike. The curtains for your window curtains and your door curtains, they are made of same materials, they look alike, just the size is different. Like this, there are different shapes, different objects made of different materials present around you. Now, things that we see around us. We see a table, we see a chair, we see a cycle, cooking vessels, books, clothes, toys, water, stones. All these things we can see around us. All these objects have different shapes, colors and uses. The table is used for different things, keeping the coffee or to serve coffee for someone. Your dining table has different use. The chair has the use of the chair is for sitting, and a cycle is used for riding. Cooking utensils are used for cooking, books are used for reading, studying, clothes are used for wearing, toys are used for playing, water for drinking, stones for playing around. These are the different objects which look entirely different and are used in a very different way. Look around and identify objects that are round in shape. Our list may include rubber bands, a football, and a glass marble, maybe. Now, if we include objects that are nearly round, if you consider only round shape, just few objects will be there. Some objects which are nearly round, if you take, our list could also include objects like apple, oranges, and earthen pitcher, right? Yes. Suppose we were looking for objects that are edible. We might include all the items that we have that can be listed. Any item edible means the things that you can eat, fruits, vegetables, and all those things. We might also find that some of those round shape objects we just listed out are also in the groups. right? The group that you considered a group of vegetables that were round shaped. Same thing is present. Let us say we wish to make a group of objects that are made of plastics. Now you're considering only the objects that are made of plastics, like buckets, lunch boxes, toys, water containers like water bottles, pipes, and many such objects. You may find a place in this group where there are so many ways to group objects. In the above mentioned, you have grouped objects on the basis of their shape or the materials they are made from. All objects around us are made of one or more materials. These materials may be glass, metal, plastics, wood, cotton, paper, mud, or soil. I'm sure you can think of more examples also. Now, we will do one activity. First thing what you will do is, let us collect as many objects as possible from around us. This actually has to be done from the classroom, but in the present situation, as you are at home, we can just consider the thing that are at home and think about the objects that you can get from your classroom. We can collect some objects from classroom and from home. What will we have in our collections? I have given you a small list. You can see a chalk, a pencil, a notebook, rubber, duster, hammer, soap, matchbox, salt, potatoes, different kinds of things you can get in your hand. Now, we can also list objects that we can think of but cannot bring it to the classroom. For example, the wall, the trees, the doors, the tractor, the road, the car, the big vehicles, all these things you can keep it in your mind. Separate all the objects from this collections that are made from paper or wood. What you will do is, first you are going to separate, you are going to leave away all that things that are made of paper and wood. This way we have divided all the objects into groups. One group has the objects that are made from papers or wood, while the other group has the objects that are made of these other materials. Similarly, we could separate the things that are used for preparing food. You can separate things that are made for used for preparing food like salt or potatoes or any other vegetables. Let us be a little more systematic. List out all the objects collected. Try to identify the material that each one of them are made of. It would be fun to make this large table, collecting information about as many objects as possible. What you have to do is, you have to collect an object and you have to mention what it is made of, the material that it is made of. It would be fun to make this large list table collecting information about as many objects as possible. As we listed before, you can take one object. As you can see in the picture, you can take an object and write what materials it is made of. It may seem difficult to find out the materials out of which some of these objects are made. In such cases, you can just discuss with your parents and you can even Google it and find out. So this is your activity 1. Now you have a list where you have different objects and the material they are made of. Now here on the example you can see that plate or thali. It is made of steel, glass, plastics. You have seen steel plates. You might have seen glass plates. You might have seen plastic plates also. Pen. It is made of plastic or metals. Some pens are made of plastic. Some pens are made of metal. Like this, if you consider any other objects like a bag. A bag is made of a different kind of clothing. Either it can be a leather clothing, it can be jeans clothing, it can be a normal uh, clothes that our bags are made of. That will be your table 1. Moving on, you have activity 2. List some common materials. You can also add more materials in column 1 that you known to you. That we already did the column 1, no? Same way, you have to just write the things. Now here, as I'll show you in the next slide what the chart should have. So the first column should have all the objects, and the second column should have object made of these materials, like this, as you can see on the picture. The first column has materials, that is wood, paper, leather, plastic, cotton. Objects made of these materials. From wood you can make chair, table, plow, bullock carts and its wheels. From paper you can make books, notebooks, newspapers, toys, calendars. Leathers you can make bags, shoes, etc. Plastics you can make plates, tumblers, etc. This will be your table 4.2. What do we find from these tables? First, we group the object in many different ways. We then found that objects around us are made of different materials at times. An object is made of single material. Some objects are made of single material, some objects need two different materials. An object could also be made of many materials, and then again one material could be used in making many different objects. Using wood, you can make chair, table, plow, bullock carts, etc. Same way, using plastic, you can make plates, pens, etc. So, and then again, one material could be used for making many different objects, like what you have mentioned here. With paper, you can make books, notebooks, newspapers, toys, calendars, etc. What decides which materials should be used for making any given object? It seems that we need to know more about the different materials. Now, one thing I would like to tell you about is property. We are going to learn more about the properties of different kinds of materials. Before that, have you ever wondered why a tumbler is made with a piece of cloth? Tumbler means the object that you use for drinking water. Now, if you pour water in a tumbler, it remains in the tumbler. But if you make a tumbler out of the cloth or any kind of cloth, and if you pour water in it, the water will start oozing out, or it will pour outside. It will not stay inside. Now, what we need for a tumbler is a glass, plastic, metal, or any such materials that we will hold water. Similarly, it would not be wise to use paper like material for cooking vessels. Can you use paper to make cooking vessels? No. So, certain materials has to be used to make certain things itself. And the remaining part of the lesson about the different properties of materials, their appearances, hardness, soluble or insoluble, or any kind of these properties, the transparency, all those things you will be learning in the other videos that will be uploaded. Thank you, children. Stay at home, stay safe, take care of yourself, and keep learning.